American bullfrogs are not the easiest pet amphibian, but they are one of the most rewarding, and many people do keep them as pets. So today I'm going to go over how I care for my American bullfrog, Lucille. Lucille is almost 4 years old now and pretty much his full-grown size. American bullfrogs are big and active frogs, and they need a lot of space, both on land and in water. This is why I wouldn't consider them a good beginner amphibian. A 48 by 18, 55-gallon aquarium is a good minimum size, but bigger would be better. So now you have the task of building a 55-gallon or larger paludarium that is 1/3 to 1/2 water and the rest land. And it needs to be something that mimics the shoreline of a stream or pond. I didn't make a video of it when I built this paludarium. I wish I had. But basically, I cut out layers of aquarium filter foam and made that the base layer for the land area. It's basically a 4-inch thick drainage layer. I built the land areas up from there and just have some ferns and moss. And there's a 20-gallon filter and pump that's hidden under a rock in the back. It keeps the water pretty clean, but Lucille can be messy. So I do a complete water change about every 3 or 4 months. There are some mystery snails that share the paludarium with Lucille, and I love them. They're such strange creatures, and they do a pretty good job of cleaning up what they can. However you set up your paludarium, water quality is extremely important for bullfrogs. I don't think it's correct to say that the bullfrog is semi-aquatic. It spends a majority of its time in the water, and then just sometimes comes out on land. So I think it's probably more correct to call it semi-terrestrial. Since frogs can absorb anything from the water into their skin, it must be pure, clean water. Frogs also absorb minerals through their skin as well, so distilled water is not good. If you must use tap water, then add a reptile-safe water conditioner. But I prefer to use bottled spring water. Every week or two, your frog is going to shed and eat its skin, like Lucille is doing here. That's completely normal, and eating the shed skin provides them with additional nutrients. But they have a much easier time doing this if they can be fully immersed in the water. A good temperature for the American bullfrog is about 75 to 80 degrees, and they can have a nighttime temperature drop to the high 60s. That's exactly the temperature range that I keep in the reptile room, so I don't provide any supplemental heat at all. I don't recommend using heat lamps for frogs unless you absolutely have to, because you run a risk of overheating or drying out your frog. As far as lighting goes, UVB lighting wouldn't hurt your frog and maybe have some benefits if you want to provide that. I've never given UVB lighting to Lucille, and he's completely thrived. I do have a good full-spectrum LED light for the plants and to give Lucille a sense of night and day. So aside from housing, which is the big thing, you have to feed your bullfrog. Bullfrogs in the wild will eat anything they can get their mouths around, from other frogs to fish to worms, small snakes, and different types of insects. I feed Lucille a staple diet of large crickets, dusted alternately with calcium or vitamins. I put about 10 or 12 crickets in the paludarium every 3 or 4 days and let Lucille hunt them down, which she does in her own brutal and exacting way. Sometimes I vary his diet by putting some feeder fish in the water, or I'll give him some large night crawlers. You can see Lucille stalking his prey from the water. He's definitely the king of his domain. Like a crocodile or alligator, bullfrogs are built so they can stay submerged with just their eyes above the water. And Lucille spends a lot of time in the water in that kind of position, so I keep the water right around 6 to 8 inches in depth, and that seems to be just right for him. So that's how I take care of Lucille, and I think I've covered everything you need to know to take care of an American bullfrog. If I left anything out, or if you have any questions, just leave me a comment below. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.